And on this red weather alert day, we start tonight with a look at the latest radar. Not a lot going on right now, Matt. It looks like that's going to change, though, between now and, say, 10 o'clock tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bobb.
And I'm Alexandra Burnley. Chief Meteorologist Matt Standridge is in the Weather Center now tracking all of this. Matt, I know earlier today you were saying that some of those pop-up showers we're seeing coming across the map, you called them junk. I like that term because that's not really what we're focusing on, right?
Yeah, just some rain. They're not going to turn severe, so that is good news. It's actually kind of protecting parts of the river valley because we're kind of putting a slow leak into some of the energy. It's kind of putting a small hole in a pool, and it just slowly allows the heat to kind of get out of the atmosphere. But let's show you where there's a lot of heat and a lot of energy still left in the atmosphere. We still have that tornado watch that's in effect across most of 5 Country, west of Clarksville, west of Paris, and west of Boonville. But there are a couple of things that we want to take a look at. First off, we have a boundary to the north that's helping spark these really strong thunderstorms across parts of southwest Missouri and into southeast Kansas, northern Oklahoma. And you see a couple of severe storms with those as well. Over time, eventually those are going to move south. And then you also see to the south, we've got a couple of storms too. But we're kind of sandwiched in the middle. There's not a lot going on right now except partly cloudy skies. And we'll have some reports from our reporters letting you know what it's kind of feeling out there right now. But we've got to take a look at the atmosphere where it's being pinched. We've got a pinching mechanism right here. We've got one about here, and then we have another back off towards the west and southwest. What this means is that these are points in the atmosphere that are a little bit weaker in order to help produce a stray storm. We don't see anything right now going to Tulsa. We don't see anything just east of OKC. And then back off towards the south as you get south of Ada, we do have a storm. This finally was able to pop on through. But right now, we're just going to have to wait until we get more storms that either fire up to the west or we just wait for this line. This line's pretty much for sure. This one will start to finally push off towards the south once it begins to put a little bit cooler air after that rain. So what we're going to watch is this line to the north eventually pushing south. The question is, can we get a storm in the meantime? It would have to pop up in one of these areas. We have a lot of heat and energy, but we don't really have anything that's trying to push the atmosphere together to try to pop anything to try to create a storm. In fact, look at this little cell. It continues to struggle. It just doesn't have the support to try to push in. Now, if we had this little cell maybe in one of these black areas, we could try to form a bigger thunderstorm. So that's something we're watching. This is kind of why we push back the storm threat just a little bit over the next couple of hours, because we'll just have to maybe wait for this line if we cannot pop anything off towards the west. And this line's pretty nasty. We got a front to the north, a front to the south. We're kind of in the middle waiting for these storms to finally collapse and surround us. So coming up, we'll talk a little bit more about the updated timeline of when storms will try to come into your county.
Matt, thanks. The 5 News weather team, of course, will be tracking the latest conditions through tonight's severe weather threat. You can get any updates on our free 5 News smartphone app. Send us photos using the Near Me feature.
You can also send us your photos of any storm damage tonight at the number right there on your screen. You can take a photo of it. 479-785-5000. Be sure to tell us your name and what town you're sending it from. You can also text us details about what's happening where you live. Of course, stay safe during all of this.
Turning now to Rogers, where tonight's severe weather threat derailing plans for fans of a band 3 Doors Down.
A huge bummer for them. The venue announcing the show's been postponed. 5 News reporter Rachel Williams has been in Rogers all night following this developing story. She continues our team coverage. Rachel.
Tonight's show at the Amp is postponed due to severe weather chances in our area, but just about an hour ago, fans were waiting in line ready to walk in, but just before 5 p.m., Walmart Amp officials postponed the show at a later date. In the meantime, they gave those fans who were here early free tickets to 2 shows. Fans can choose from Queens of the Stones Ages or Shinedown. I spoke with a couple of fans, and they tell me they hope the original 3 Doors Down concert is rescheduled at a convenient time. Jennifer Wilson, director of public relations for the Walmart Amp, says in the past they've had to delay a show but never cancel one until today.
If a show is canceled, it's typically canceled and refunds are available. If it's postponed, then we usually ask patrons to hold on until a new date is scheduled, and then refunds are available if you can't attend. But again, we're going to try to do everything we can to get the show in.
For those who bought tickets to the concert tonight, keep an eye out on their social media pages, and they'll have an update on the new concert date. But for now, I'm live in Rogers covering news where you live. Rachel Williams, 5 News.
All right, Rachel, thanks. Our team coverage continues now in Washington County.
5 News reporter Lauren Spencer has been out monitoring the storms and joins us with an update on what she's seeing. Lauren.
Here in Fayetteville, we're seeing blue skies, but a few dark storm clouds rolling in from the northwestern sky just right to my right. It's pretty hot here, it's pretty humid, but it's starting to get windy. The wind is starting to pick up. It honestly seems like a pretty nice day out, but we still do have to worry about that tornado watch in effect for the area. We got a little shower about an hour ago in the Fayetteville-Farmington area, just a little pop-up shower. It lasted about 30 minutes, but for right now, it's pretty clear in Fayetteville. That's it for Washington County. Morgan, what's it looking like in Benton County?
Well, we're here in Decatur, right outside the west side of town, and we're just miles from the line of Oklahoma. And here the skies are clear, the skies are blue, the sun is shining, and there's little to no cloud coverage above my head right now. And looking out in all directions, you can see that's kind of the case. The clouds look pretty nice to me. But I will say that Matt told us that the crispier the clouds are and the taller they are, the more stormy it is. And earlier I was just seeing some soft gray clouds. Now I'm seeing some that are much crispier, more structured. But other than that, the main thing, it's been especially humid, very hot. But since I've been standing out here, I've been feeling a slight breeze kind of cooling me off. So that's where we are now. And that's all I really have in Decatur. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio.
All right, guys, thanks. Remember, anytime severe weather strikes, the 5+ app has you covered. Download it for your Roku or Amazon streaming devices. You can also follow all 5 News weather teams coverage on our free 5+ app.